And this next fight right here, we got another low-level volatile fight between Blood Diamond and Charlie Radtke. And this is going to be Blood Diamond's last opportunity to make good in the UFC here. He's 0-2 so far, and he's really not been competitive whatsoever. He's taken a year off since the last fight, and he's 35 now, so it's tough to be confident in him looking much different. But hopefully he's worked on his skill set and tried to improve, and he's getting a step down in competition, more of a striker, so it's his best chance to pick up a UFC win that he's had so far. And Charlie Radtke, he's finally getting his career started in the UFC at 33. He trains at MMA Masters as well, just like another person, Gabriel Miranda, that we just talked about on this card. So good gym behind him, and he's been winning lately. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He won the CFFC welterweight title in his last fight. He hasn't lost in over 2 years, so definitely earned the UFC fight. And this is going to be his first fight outside the United States. He's in enemy territory. That's on top of it being a UFC pay-per-view, and this is being his debut. So he has a lot to overcome even before stepping in the octagon. But Radtke is a well-rounded guy. He has decent striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. On the feet, he's composed. He pressures forward. He has good power in his hands. He stands tall and upright, and he moves in and out pretty fast. He'll throw the 1-2s, the left hooks. His left hook has some big power, and he'll throw some hard body kicks. He can fight off the back foot pretty effectively. He's pretty light on his feet. He is evasive with his lateral movement, and he'll try to get fighters to overextend and then look for that left hook. And defensively, he's kind of reckless at times. He doesn't really move his head either, and relies a lot on his feet and his guard to block punches. But shots can sneak in, they can land clean, and I've seen him get rocked before. He is tough. I've seen him get hurt, come back to win, and he's been finished by strikes only once, and those were body punches, and he has 3 knockout wins. If you can land that left hook clean on Blood Diamond, you can't hurt him, even though Diamond is the more polished striker. But Radtke's going to want to get it to the ground, and he is slick on the ground. He transitions well. Super smooth. He can chain submissions together. He has a lot of submission finishes he can go to. He has good front chokes. His back takes are good. And he should have an edge on the ground against Blood Diamond. He submitted Raheem Forrest with a rear naked choke, Raheem Forrest is a good wrestler. He was the CFFC champion. And Radtke doesn't really have the offensive wrestling, though, which is going to be the issue for him in this fight. He will look for doubles, but his wrestling is sloppy. It's not really the most effective. His last fight, he got a couple takedowns. He got close to the submission, or his last loss, and he ended up getting tired from all the wrestling and got finished in the second round. But if he can get Blood Diamond to the ground, he definitely has the ability to take the back and choke him out, because I feel like Blood Diamond's jiu-jitsu and grappling is pretty low level. But Blood Diamond, he's a big guy for the weight, and he has the size advantage. He is fighting a guy in Charlie Radtke who used to fight at 155, and they're similar heights, but Diamond has a long reach, and he has a bigger frame. And on the feet, he has an awkward style. He's a former world champion, but he's really not the most technically sound. He will switch stance. He has good accuracy with his punches, throws a good jab, some straight punches, uppercuts, and he'll mix in some tricky strikes too, like up elbows and things like that, spinning attacks. But his kicks are weird. Like, he'll throw kicks in punching range, and he has ability to land kicks when you don't really feel like he should land them. But a lot of his kicks aren't really the most powerful kick. On the inside, he will throw dangerous attacks. He has accuracy with the elbows, but he doesn't really have the greatest footwork, and it's hard for him to find the space to get knockouts. And I feel like unless Radtke gets tired, then the striking will actually be fairly competitive, because I just think Diamond is the more high volume and dynamic striker, but he's also kind of hittable and not the most technical. But in the UFC, he's had bad matchups. He's fought guys that have really just wanted to take him down, like Jeremiah Wells. He really showed no offense against Jeremiah Wells. He defended a couple clinch takedowns just by being tall, having good balance, but never got free from the clinch and ended up getting finished on the ground quick. I think he got controlled like all but 5 seconds of that fight. And one thing about Blood Diamond I've noticed is his cage wrestling is not the best. He doesn't dig underhooks, and he could just let guys hold him against the fence. His takedown defense isn't terrible because he's athletic and he's tall, but he can get stalled out in the clinch, and when he does get put on his back, he looks rudimentary there. He lays flat. He will expose his back to stand up, and he could stay defensively responsible against some low-level grapplers, I guess, but Jeremiah Wells only needed one takedown to finish the fight, and Orion Kosi, who's not even a good grappler, was able to get the back and control the back in the third round on Blood Diamond. So I feel like if Radtke can get to the back mount, he will be able to find the submission, but it's just if he can get the takedowns. And cardio for Diamond is on point. I would say he's the better conditioned athlete, and I feel like Radtke probably only needs like one or two takedowns to finish the fight, but he isn't the most defensively responsible. He doesn't have the greatest wrestling, so I could see him going out there, getting an early takedown, taking the back end, rear naked choke, but I could also see Blood Diamond be hard to take down against the cage, get Radtke tired, and then take him out via knockout down the stretch. So I'm going to predict Radtke to win via first round rear naked choke, but I do think it's a dog or pass in terms of the money line here, and I feel like Blood Diamond has a little bit of value.